Hey, what's up everyone? Coach Danny. In this tutorial, I'm going to show you guys a few tips to improve your jab. All right, so in order for me to rectify your jabbing techniques, I want to go over some of the common mistakes that I see when I coach students, and this is going to help you out tremendously. All right, so the first thing you want to do is, of course, the jab is your primary punching weapon, right? That's the one you're going to be using the most. It's the one that actually activates most of the combinations and the boxing punches, even your low kicks and Muay Thai techniques as well, right? So a lot of the combos are going to start with your jab. So that's why it's super important to have a good technique when you do your jab. Now, the most common mistakes are, the first one that I see a lot is people drop their hands. Of course, you want to have your hands up, and every single boxing or Muay Thai coach is going to tell you keep your hands up at all times. Of course, the reason being is because if your hands are in front of your face, they have to go through your hands before they touch your face, all right? So by having your hands up, this is good defense right off the bat, but also, it also sets up that jab, because if I had my hand here, for example, then it has to travel all this distance, and that's not a jab, or it has to return to the initial position before it strikes out, right? And I'm losing time. So by having a good position, your hands up like this, whether you want your elbows a little bit flared out, or you want a super tight guard, that's up to you. But the basics will remain. I want to have your hand right in front of your chin, just in front of your eyebrow as such, all right? So now, when you throw your jab, the first common mistake is people will actually telegraph the jab by dropping that jab. Say they go like this, and then they shoot it out. So a lot of times you don't even know. You're boxing or even doing your shadow boxing practice, and what happens now is, instead of keeping the hand exactly where it is and shooting it straight out, what happens is people drop it down and then shoot it at that angle, all right? So for you, when you're training your jab, it won't feel like there's a difference, but the best thing to do, I would say, is do this in front of a mirror, or even take your phone and shoot yourself. Shoot a quick video of you throwing your jabs in shadow boxing, and you might notice that's an issue, all right? So a lot of times what you want to do is always make sure or imagine that your elbows are sitting on a table, all right? So you can't drop your elbows, right? So now you're going to be shooting your jab straight out, all right? So that's the first common mistake I'll see a lot of times is from the side here. People will drop their hand, say they go here, and then they shoot it out. What I want you guys to practice is shoot it out straight from that position. That elbow stays exactly where it is, and it shoots out and comes right back, all right? Now, second common mistake is people will do this, but then they drop the jab after the fact of hitting the jab, all right? So it looks like this. From the side, everything is perfect from the get-go. They shoot it out, and then they drop it on its way back, all right? So you don't want to do that waving motion. You want to shoot the jab. Imagine that table once again. As you shoot it out, it returns in the same direction, all right? So that's the second common mistake I see a lot. First one, don't drop your hand before you jab. Second one, bring it back to the returning initial position, right? Now, I have a drill for you guys to help you shoot that jab. What you want to do is always imagine you're shooting it into a pipe. So you have a pipe here, and it goes straight out and straight back in. So let's check out a very easy drill you can do at home to practice this. All right, so a very easy drill you can do is just set up a tape, a rope. In this case, I use the hand wrap, and just to tie it on each end right this. So it's just tied up on two heavy bags right now. You guys just have something here. I want you guys to make that line about chin height, all right? So this is a good distance because that's where you're gonna be landing that jab. Now, just as discussed, I wanna have my hands up here. If you take a close-up look here, my elbow, if I just hammer my jab as such, which is the wrong way, then I'm just gonna hit the rope, right? I'm always hitting and touching the hand wrap. Now, if I drop my hand before, I'm gonna jab underneath the hand wrap. See here? And that's not what I want. And of course, after the fact, if I jab straight and I return low, once again, I'm gonna touch the hand wrap. And all these things are super important because if I drop first and you're very fast, that opens up for the cross, right? I don't wanna give you that opening. I wanna have the gloves up. And the second thing is after the jab, if I bring it back down, then you're gonna counter with a cross. All things being equal, I wanna have a guard up to have good offense. Also, increasing my defense. So here, this is a great drill. Watch this. I'm just gonna jab here, all the way up and all the way back. See, jab here, jab back. 1, 2. As opposed to bring it down and going underneath, that would be wrong. And now, if I jab out and I try to bring it down, that's also wrong. And the second thing, if I just hammer the jab like this, I'm also touching my wrist on this. All right, so I always wanna make sure it's straight. Down the pipe, down the pipe, down the pipe, down the pipe. Now, of course, I said earlier, this is the chin, so I want to aim the jab at the chin, but don't forget, this is just an exercise to help you keep your hands up when you're jabbing. So from the side, you'll see that my jab takes the same course. The hand will follow the hand wrap, boom, and comes back, boom, and comes back, boom, and comes back. And this is a very simple and easy exercise to ensure that you shoot your jab out straight. All right, so a second common mistake I see a lot is people flaring the elbow out. All right, so this a lot comes from trying to increase your power. So as such, if the elbows are here, we talked about shooting it in a straight line, but a lot of times what people do is they do that, but they also raise this elbow out. So that what happens now is they lift up and then they chop it out. So it's almost just like the hammer jab, but from the side. All right, so what I want to do now is keep the elbow here and I jab it out, but I'm trying to not elevate first and telegraphing. So if you're looking at my jab right now and I do this, and after once or two times, what's going to happen? I'm telegraphing, that's a tell, and you're going to just move your head or block and counter me back. So try to keep your elbow in. You don't want to keep it so tight where you can't even increase that power with the shoulder. But what you don't want to do is flare out and then jab out. All right, so if the elbow slightly elevates, that's fine, but try to keep it in tightly. See, here. Now, I'm going to show you guys a very easy fix for this. Go against a wall. All right, and now what you're going to do is lean onto it like this with your elbow. And if you look here from the side, if you take a close up on my arm here, I can't elevate the elbow. So here, I can do this, and that's the bad habit I'm trying to avoid. Now against the wall here, now I can't elevate. So now here I can practice, and every time I shoot my jab here, I ensure that the elbow stays in a correct position and returns back, as opposed to trying to lift it here, which I can't. So you can also practice this moving in. So you have your guard up, and now you want to step in with your jab, step in with your jab, step in with your jab. Right, another common mistake is people just short jabbing their motion. All right, so what I mean by this is you'll often see professional boxers or Muay Thai fighters, mixed martial artists, what they're going to do is just like half their punches as such. You see this a lot. And that's just because they're visualizing what they're doing, kind of like either warming up slowly or even cooling down. But what I want you to do is not get into that bad habit of just showing your jab as such. The reason why I mention this is if you don't fully extend your jab when you're training, a lot of times the jab is that gauging distance. That's the one for your rangefinder. So if I know that the jab connects, then in my mind, I know the right will also connect. As opposed to now when I'm building that bad habit of shorting my jab like this, it's just shortened. Every time I'm gonna spar for real when I go live, now I'm throwing my jab as such. And now I'm never connecting the jab. And I'm not hitting with the cross as well. So now, psychologically, I'm never throwing that bomb or the connecting punches that go together, even a kick, for example. So, as opposed to thinking that this didn't land, I'm not going to throw the right hand, if I had extended a little bit more and it connected, then I knew the right shot would land as well. All right, so it's not super good to always just throw those short punches. Only do this if you're warming up or cooling down, or if you know exactly you're visualizing your shadow boxing, that's a little bit different. But when you want to enhance your skills, technique practice, you want to make sure that you're fully extending your punches. All right, another common mistake, the one I want to show you guys, is the accuracy. Of course, when you jab, you want to be accurate and land, all right? So you don't want to just punching air. If the person's head is here, you're not jabbing here, here, or here. What you want to do is jab right here, okay? Now, it goes further beyond that. The accuracy is sometimes I'll ask the student, where did you land your jab? Right on the head. Okay, but where? On the head. Where? On the face. Where? You want to be accurate enough where in your boxing glove or your 4-ounce MMA gloves, you're gonna feel those two first big knuckles land right on the target. That means the chin, that's the button, sometimes on the bridge of the nose, sometimes even underneath the eye or on the eyebrow to create cuts, all right? But you don't wanna be just aiming anywhere on the head, right? You wanna actually be seeing exactly the accuracy of where you're landing your punch. So I've placed two pieces of tape here on my heavy bag. One is about head high or eye level, chin level. I placed it a little bit higher because Alex is practicing against an opponent who's a little bit taller, upcoming fight for Muay Thai. So I placed this a little bit higher to the height of that opponent. So that would be where his chin is, and this would be where his solar plexus or stomach would be. All right, so this is where you want to be practicing your jab. So of course, with your boxing glove now, what you're going to do is popping that jab out, see? Now, if I hit and I miss the tape like this, and I was aiming the head, that would be a miss, right? Of course, I'm not going to be just punching here. So I want to be accurate enough as I'm moving to always be hitting my two first knuckles on that line. Right here, see? I'm always touching the line. Boom, the jab. If I want to go low, I'm using my legs and I'm also driving the shoulder onto the punch. If you notice here, I'm always touching the line. And that's the accuracy. Of course, with a boxing glove, it's going to be a little bit rounder and thicker, but you also want to practice once in a while bare knuckle just to increase the accuracy of throwing the jab, right? Look, if I do it wrong and I crouch down and I hit here, that would be a miss, right? This would be a low blow, of course. This would be maybe just on his shoulder. This would be on his forehead or above his head. I want to be aiming correctly right onto that line. That's the chin. And if I go down, that's exactly where, let's say, for example, the solar plexus would be, or the chin would be, or the bridge of the nose. So this, as the bag is moving around on your swivel, the tape goes around your bag, and no matter where the bag goes, you're always facing a line, always increasing that accuracy. Great tool, great drill, very simple to increase accuracy of your jab. All right, guys, so there you have it. Some pro tips on increasing the efficiency of your jab. Hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. Leave us a thumbs up, make sure to subscribe, and we'll catch you in the next video. Take care.